Welcome back to the Fourth and Goal podcast. Week 8 is upon us. That was a interesting week 7, and I don't think I remember the last time that the NFL felt this kind of wide open at this stage. We usually have dominant teams by now. It doesn't feel like that this year so far. So, yeah, let's get cracking with week 8. And I thought, Paul, I'd start with a Thursday night special. Last Thursday was quite a good night. Historic game for fourth and gold with our biggest win ever. So let's run it. Let's run it again this week. I've got a receiving special for you. So I've got Justin Jefferson over 80 receiving yards, Jordan Addison over 50 receiving yards, and Keenan Allen and Lad McConkey also over 50 receiving yards. You can get that at 8-1. The running game for the Chargers is a bit up and down, and we know why because of this offensive line issue. So I think the ball's going to be in Justin Herbert's hands tonight. And yeah, okay, for the Vikings, they do have a running game, but Wentz has been connecting with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison in and out of his mistakes. He's been able to produce with them. So I like this, and you're getting that at 8.5-1 on Virgin Bet. So I think it has chances. But to the game itself, I'll hand over to you, Paul. I think this could be a sneaky great game.
Yeah, I don't have a great feel for this game. Like I've not been high on the Chargers since the jump, since the start of the season. We're not as high as the media and the hype, the off season talk. And obviously their season's been completely derailed with how they want to play Jim Harbaugh, run the ball. Um, and then they can't protect Justin Herbert. And yeah, it's kind of sad to see the state of the Chargers at the minute. The Colts went in there and just dominated them, absolutely dominated them on both lines of scrimmage. And yeah, you don't want to see Herbert. I don't think this is the Chargers' year. But on the flip side, the Vikings. So the backstory of the Vikings, JJ McCarthy is still not ready. He was supposed to be ready. I haven't heard that he's had a setback. They've come off their bye, back from international. No, they came off their bye last week, played the Eagles. He was supposed to be back after the bye, was what we were hearing at first with JJ McCarthy. So is he hurt or is he having a second year of sitting? I know last year he was hurt, but is he? Are they avoiding?
Was it a high ankle sprain?
I don't know what the injury was, but I just remember the timeline, the what they allowed to get out to the media, and I haven't heard that he's had a setback. So are they now avoiding the he's been benched? Because surely he hasn't been benched for Carson Wentz, because Carson Wentz has had moments, but not over a whole game or not even over a whole half since he's been the starter. So yeah, the Vikings. I don't really know what to make of this JJ McCarthy thing. And then in the background, like Sam Darnold's tearing the league up and playing really really well and in the running for MVP. I know it's week 8, but I know they had to turn it over to JJ McCarthy. But anyway, I'm digressing about the Vikings and their quarterback. Carson Wentz is the starter this week. We know that. I don't know. You usually favor the home team. Short week, the home team, but I don't know. I just got a feeling that the Vikings. I think the Chargers have got bigger problems than the Vikings. So, but I don't have a great feel. I don't know. I'm just got to pick someone. I'm gonna pick the Vikings. I think that they're a little bit more healthy than the Chargers in key positions, and Carson Wentz at right now is greater than JJ McCarthy based on what we've seen. We've only seen a quarter from JJ McCarthy so far. So, yeah, I'm going to go against convention and I'm going to say that the road team wins on Thursday night.
Okay, the spread is 3.5 in favor of the Chargers. Over under of 45. So that tells you Vegas is a little bit skeptical on the production tonight. I could hear the struggle as you talked that through, and I second it. That's why I think this could be a great game because, to be honest with you, I don't have a good feel for it either. I feel like this could be a very unpredictable type of game because we're seeing the struggles with the Chargers in protecting Herbert, but we're seeing the Vikings with Wentz. It's very up and down. You know, he can make a big throw, but he can also then throw a pick six. So I don't know where to go with this one. And defensively, these two are sort of like well-renowned defenses, not for their names, but usually well-renowned defenses tough to play against. They have not been tough to play against as of late. So I'm interested to see who can improve in this game. Is it going to be the Vikings defense? They were still missing my man Van Ginkel last week. I don't know if he makes it on a short week. But the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh are not playing at that level right now. Like they started the season well, and you're looking at the defense, and we were talking about it before. Like, who are the blue chip players on this defense? What Khalil Mack? I think he's on IR right now. And I'm looking around saying, I don't know really these guys. Call me a casual, but I don't know them. And it feels like Jim Harbaugh can only do so much to raise them, but it's not a great defense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I feel like this could be high scoring. Like Herbert, yeah, okay. They were behind, and it's easier to play from behind, and at least Herbert's fighting to the end. Like I like to see that. We'll get to other quarterbacks who aren't fighting so hard. So I'm just gonna go with the Chargers. I think like it's a coin flip for me. I could make an argument, a weak argument for both teams. Basically, I'm gonna roll with Herbert, and it's more about can I trust Wentz not to do like an old Wentz thing? Because like let me tell you, I think Justin Jefferson, like he's quarterback proof. He will have a big game again tonight. I'd say against this Chargers defense that it's not the Eagles. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Chargers, and I don't feel confident about it at all. But I think this will be a good game.
I knew it. I knew you'd go with the Chargers.
Okay, so we move on. Interesting game on Sunday. There's no early game this week, so we're back to the 1 p.m. window to start. We've got Dolphins at Falcons. Tua had another multiple interception day. Okay, the first one got tipped, maybe a little bit high. You can let him off for that one. But the other two, this isn't good. And when Mike McDaniel, this is where it's starting to show there is dysfunction. Well, I say starting to show there's dysfunction in this organization. Mike McDaniel says
Like now, what?
exactly. Tua is going to start, and my expectation is that he doesn't throw 10 picks. That is not a meme. He said those words. So that to me tells me that ownership want Tua to play, not Mike McDaniel, because I don't know why he would say something like that.
Well, it's Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's the backup.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Zach Wilson has been moved to third string, and I forget the name of the backup. He was in college last year. Is it Quinn Ewers? He's not very good, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, Tua can't get benched for Quinn Ewers.
There you go.
Wow.
But, it played out exactly how I thought it would last week. Tua, and I don't want to disrespect the name, but it really fits at the moment. Tua turn the ball over because that is what he is doing.
Mm.
As you said, you just can't.
Do you remember the end zone interception? That was a terrible. He just chopped that.
Yeah,
He should do anything but that. Throw it over the middle under duress. Like, I know it's going to be a safety, but that was a terrible throw.
pure panic. Exactly, exactly. So as you said a few weeks ago, or you have been saying, I can't pick the Dolphins to win a game. And this week, they're playing a Falcons team who are at home, so home comforts for them. I am surprised the way that the 49ers were able to just ram it down their throat in the run game. But after watching the film, and we'll get to the 49ers, the way that Shanahan used Juszczyk, like motioning him into blocks, it was like a beautiful watch, I got to say. But this is about the Falcons. I still like them. Bijan will have a big day against this team for sure. Penix can make big plays, but as I keep saying, like he has some scary plays as well. He isn't going to have as many as Tua this week because I still think this Falcons defense is damn good. So spread is 7.5. Over under of 44.5. I think the Falcons control this one. And yeah, could the Dolphins put up a fight? They've lost Waller, so that's another good target of theirs gone. I've got no faith, no confidence in the Dolphins with Tua. So for me, Falcons win, Falcons cover the 7.5 point spread.
This game to me is I don't like either of these teams. I thought I would like the Falcons coming into the season, and I did pick them to be the seventh seed and sneak in as a wild card because I had confidence in Penix moving forward, and there's talent on this roster. But that game against the 49ers was very concerning for me. You could see there was a massive disparity in head coaching and scheme, and they they got their ass kicked by the 49ers. And there are some guys that, Raheem Morris has been a head coach before and it didn't go well. And now, I mean, there are some guys, he's a great defensive coordinator. He's above, okay, he's great, it's maybe a stretch. He's an above average, he's going to be employed as a defensive coordinator in the future. I'm not hoping that the guy gets fired, but when you see games like the 49er game, I mean, the 49ers are completely, as you know, like decimated by injuries. And this is it's kind of a statement game, should have been a statement game for the Falcons on the road to a conference rival who are banged up, and they got dominated by the 49ers and they got dominated in coaching. So, but the Falcons are a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team. They seem to be decent at home, and so that performance in Santa Clara, and then they got shut out by the Panthers. So is that going to be the story of their season? Like they'll beat the Bills at home and put in a great effort, and then go and just not turn up on the road. But this game is in Atlanta against a team in Miami who are completely is for everybody to see that they are in complete disarray. I've hated the Dolphins defense since the start and nothing has changed. And yeah, this is a Falcons get right game. I think they're going to beat up on the Dolphins, and I don't think it's going to take much because I think the Dolphins have kind of just mailed in the season, and this is it. Spread of 7.5. Yeah, I think the Falcons. It's hard to say that the Falcons cover. It doesn't sound right when it comes out your mouth. The Falcons are going to cover 7.5, but it's more like I don't think the Dolphins can be within 7.5. That makes sense. I think the Dolphins will gift wrap the game to Atlanta in the shape of it might be some turnovers or some interceptions or some missed tackles. Like the Dolphins just aren't a great team on defense and they're turning the ball over on offense. The only real part of this team that I kind of think's been above expectations is Waller so far. He's been a bit of a surprise coming back to the league. And I like Acham, the running back, but yeah, the Dolphins are a bit of a joke, and the Falcons. We're not going to learn anything from this week unless it's a disaster and they don't cover or they somehow get shocked by the Dolphins. Yeah, Falcons win, Falcons cover, and we're on the clock now for Miami to just disappear. Miami should do the right thing and just disappear from the media. They just need to shut up and not say anything. Like, what is wrong with these guys? Like, don't say anything. Just, I don't know. Falcons win, Falcons cover.
A sneaky good player prop over the last few weeks, you won't believe it, has been Kyle Pitts. Like okay, he's not a top five pick level player, but he's starting to be like a productive, role player in this team. So if it's around 34.5 like it has been, I say keep adding it because he's coming in with that. Next up, the Bears at the Ravens. The Ravens coming off their bye week. I must admit, I don't know who's back other than I've seen Lamar in practice. So I assume that means Lamar is back. This one is an interesting one. Ravens favored by 6.5. Over under of 49. The Bears started 0-2 and have now won 4 straight.
Yeah.
But we look at quality of wins. Cowboys, okay. Yeah, that was a layup for them, I guess. Saints, they won a close one against the Commanders, but that came from a Commanders mistake.
Mm.
But they're getting there. Like, you could easily just like lose your mind with 4 wins in a row, the way that those in New England are losing their mind with all these wins against the Titans and the Saints.
Yeah.
But the question is, what Ravens are we going to get? That is the big question because we don't know. I say they bounce back though. I think that they needed the bye week. Like they needed it badly to just have a hard reset on everything that's going wrong. And if Lamar is back, which it feels like he is, I think we'll see a better Ravens this week. And with the Bears, like I said, they are gradually getting there, but it's not flowing fully yet, right? On offense, we're seeing flashes of like this could be really good, but it's not fully consistent yet. There's a lot of like drives that are 3s that should be 7s, in my opinion. But I like where it's going, and I hate the fact that as a 49ers fan, we play the Bears in late December. I'd much rather have played them first half of the year when they're still figuring it out. The Ravens defense scares me a lot. So there's no way that I'm picking them to cover the 6.5. But I think the Ravens do bounce back this week with the bye week, with Lamar back, with what I would think would be a hard reset on their approach. They're in Baltimore. Yeah, Ravens win, but I'm going to say the Bears cover because I'm just scared of this Ravens defense. I don't know really what to expect.
Yeah, like normal wisdom would say it's the Ravens and Lamar Jackson's back, and yeah, everything's just gonna and they're back to normal. But I've watched this team before the bye, and I've watched the defense, and I mean they're still missing pretty much all those guys on defense, aren't they?
That's what I'm not sure on. I'm going to have a look because they got Carl Hamilton back last week. Or the,
Madubuike's yeah, he's done.
Madubuike's done. Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think the Bears could go in there. I don't think it's that much of a shock now, as well, considering what they've done so far. I mean, they
Does
had
it make a difference to you? Ronnie Stanley, full practice. Roquan Smith, full practice. We know Hamilton's back. It's only really Marlon Humphrey who's missing.
yeah,
But as you said, Madubuike's done for the year. So big hole on that defensive line.
yeah. I think this is a Ravens should win because I don't think the Bears are there yet. Like you said, I think that it is encouraging. Exactly what you said. It's encouraging. The Ben Johnson, you're seeing it, and DeAndre Swift is he's really part of this offense, and he could be really, really good under Ben Johnson. But Caleb, I don't know. I just don't think he is the right quarterback for a Ben Johnson offense yet. But this could be a learning process for him. He had terrible coaching situation last year, so let's give him a break. That's not, but we're only in week 8 with a new head coach, new system, and yeah, I think it's encouraging for the Bears, and they're winning these kind of close games. And even when they don't play that well, they are winning games. This Saints game last week, they didn't play well, but handled it, managed it. The Commanders game, they should have been up big, let the Commanders come back in, and then got lucky with the turnover. But they were in that game. They're in games. There is improvement with the Bears. And I have no clue with the Ravens. No clue. Like, honestly, I have no clue. All I'll say is the Ravens are the joint, like, they're either the joint betting favourites or they're slightly behind the Steelers in the AFC North division betting, which I get it. We've got to play each other twice, but I think it's just based on what we've seen so far, I think it's kind of crazy. Because even before they got really, really banged up, they should have beaten the Bills week 1, but they weren't the Ravens that we expected coming into the year and a lot of people's Super Bowl picks. So I need to see it. I need to see, especially the way that Lamar Jackson plays. If he's not fully ready to go, then that's going to limit the way that he wants to play, and therefore limit the way that the Ravens are able to perform on offense. And we've seen that the defense even hasn't been able to do anything. Yeah, they're getting some guys back, but are they going to be fully ready to go, or are they being rushed through because of the kind of season is right there for them now? Like, you lose a couple more games, you're kind of done. And they're looking at this one like, right, you got the Bears at home. You got to win this one because the schedule doesn't get any easier for Baltimore. I know they've got I can't read out the teams that they got, but this is the softer part of their schedule upcoming. But then towards the back end, they've got a first place schedule. They're the Ravens. So, and the AFC North, we're playing the NFC North. So they've got the Lions, Packers, Vikings, and Bears on their schedule. Like, it's tough. It's tough. So Yeah, I need to see it from the Ravens, but I'm not quite there with the Bears. I'm encouraged. So this is a crazy game for me. This is more of a bet in running kind of a game. Wait, watch the first quarter and go, oh, okay, the Raven. Okay, this is the Ravens team. Or because you could try to predict it, then the game starts. You're like, oh, I kind of knew that might happen,
Agreed. That's a good
but
way to look at it.
the odds push you into it. Do they know? They might, but if you're investing your own hard-earned money in it, do you know? Is it a trap? That would be my advice to this game. Watch the first couple of series to see what Ravens defense is present and what Lamar Jackson has arrived and how the Bears are moving the ball against this Ravens defense. So it's a total like shot in the dark for me based on what I've just said. I'll go Ravens win, Bears cover, but really, who knows because we don't know what Ravens are going to turn up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. On to the next one. The Bills are coming off the bye week. They are favored by 7.5, and they go into Carolina.
Carolina,
Carolina are 3-0 at home.
yeah, they are elite at home. Well, shut out the Falcons, beat the Cowboys, and who did it? What was the other one that they won?
Who was the other one? Cowboys? I want to check that. Because I've been reminded on TikTok today that I've only got one result right for the Panthers so far.
What on the?
On the prediction.
Okay,
I had the Panthers starting 0-6, so not the greatest start for me. Oh, that infamous comeback against the Dolphins.
oh right, yeah, okay, okay. So yeah, I mean, you could say it's not a terrible schedule. I mean, yeah, the Dolphins are bad this year, but the Falcons and Cowboys at home, so they're not cupcake matchups.
No, no way. They're legit wins.
Yeah, and we both picked them to beat the Jets, but because they've been terrible on the road, and that was a completely unwatchable product in New York. But I don't know.
There's no Bryce Young this week, just to say.
Oh wow, okay,
I think it I think it's concussion, but he has been ruled out, so it's definitely Andy Dalton, from what I've heard.
wow, okay. I think well, the Bills have to win this. They absolutely have to win it. I mean, New England, yeah, their fans are kind of getting annoying already, but there is a little bit of truth behind the noise. They do have an easy schedule. You look at their schedule and you would expect them now to win more than 10 games. So the Bills have to win this kind of game.
Mm. Bryce Young hasn't officially been ruled out, but he's been out of practice today and yesterday, and they're already sort of using the narrative that they would be comfortable with Andy Dalton starting. So it feels slim at this point.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm going to say that the Bills absolutely like the Bills have to have it, and I think they will. I don't. It's not a great confidence pick at all. I wouldn't pick the Bills to cover. I think just out of desperation, they will win this game. I think Josh Allen will will them to will make enough plays to win it. He's massively greater than whatever quarterback turns up for the Panthers. And limitations that we know the Bills have on defense. I don't think the Panthers have the talent to expose that. So more out of desperation, I'm going to say that the Bills win and Panthers cover. But yeah, if the Bills don't win this, then they're in serious trouble.
What scares me about this game is the Bills are facing another team that have found a running game. And we didn't get to cover the Bills
Oh
last week.
yeah, he's two back to back. No, it's not back to back to back, but he had the 200 yards back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dowdle covered last week. And I mean, that was an embarrassment for the Bills against the Falcons. Like, you know me, I've been singing Bijan's praises like he's an absolute superstar. But to give up 200 the way they did on him so early in the game, I was like watching it thinking, what am I watching here? Is this a college game where just like, oh, this unbelievable running back is just going to do whatever he wants to your defense? Like, the Bills will turn up though, like eventually. Like, this defense will have better days. But it kind of reminds me of the Packers defense back in the day with Rodgers, where they're susceptible to giving up these 200 plus days to a running back where they just can't stop the run. Like, they just can't do it. But as you said, they have to win this game. And I just don't have confidence. I don't have confidence other than number 17, my man Josh Allen. And he didn't play well against the Patriots. They lose. He didn't play particularly well against the Falcons, although he was under a lot of duress in that game. Will the Panthers be able to apply that same pressure? I'm going to say no. So on that basis, I think that the Bills will just squeak past the Panthers. I think it will be close because I have no confidence in the Bills' defense. I really have no confidence in anyone on this Bills roster outside of Josh Allen and James Cook. That's all I can hang my hat on is Josh Allen and James Cook. Do not play a prop any Bills receiver or tight end. You don't know what you're getting from them. You really don't. But I believe in Josh Allen, and it sounds stupid because we've seen the Panthers go off on the run game and the Bills can't stop the run. So, logically speaking, if that happens again, they're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
But divine intervention, number 17's greatness, he will drag this team to victory. So, Bills win, Panthers cover, I say, like you. Next up, we've got the Jets at the Cincinnati Bengals. Joseph Vincent Flacco, thank you for throwing a touchdown within the 5-yard line. Just thank you. If you want to know why I'm saying that, head over to Instagram on our best bets page. You'll see why. Had to get that out of the way. The Jets, we were talking earlier in the week, Paul. Where is this win coming from? You know, I just thought it's going to come. I still believe it will come, but I just don't see where. Like, this team is really, really poor. I don't know if they're making a change at quarterback. Like, they benched Justin Fields in the game. So if they move forward like that, that means it's Tyrod Taylor, who is a safe, reliable, non-spectacular but high character type of quarterback.
Yeah.
But you look at this Bengals team, Joe Flacco, you can see why Tomlin was so disgruntled with that trade because he's got it in him to pull off he's got some good days in him. And yeah, we're going to get to the Steelers later and how just the lack of adjustments made it so easy for him. I mean, they threw the same. I want to say it's like a slant, but it's almost like in between a slant and a post to Jamar Chase in between the zones. I don't know how many times. And it was just like, what? You're just going to give that up for the whole game? Like, do something different. Flacco just said, thank you very much. The Bengals defense, though, still struggling. But the Jets, I don't think, have anything to offer to take advantage of that. The spread is 6.5. That was one of those roller coaster type victories against the Steelers. So there's always that risk that there's a bit of a come down. But after an emotional win like that, who better to play than the New York Jets? So I think the Bengals win this game, and suddenly the Bengals would be 4-4. And they only need this Joe to get them to mid-December before another Joe could come back. So this season is starting to look a little bit different for the Bengals. Let's see if it continues. But if they can win this game, they only need a few more wins to be alive when Burrow potentially could be back. And just to say on the Jets, I mean, I sent you that video of that fan who he said he was born into being a Jets fan. He said he hates this team. I was born into it, but I'm always going to be a Jets fan, but I hate this team. And that pretty much sums up the New York Jets right now. They are not a good team. And Aaron Glenn has to figure some things out, I think. But in fairness, he did get a vote of confidence from the owner this week, who just basically threw Justin Fields under the bus. So let's see what happens. I say Bengals win 6.5. I'm going to say the Bengals cover.
Okay, so yeah, the video that's circling the internet of the fans. So my take of that was that Woody Johnson, when he was interviewed at the owners' meeting, that's kind of the reason why that poor young man is going to endure, or has endured, and probably will continue to endure a period of suffering supporting this team. Because I don't want to hear anything from the owner regarding criticizing players. And now he's put Aaron Glenn, who's new into this job, winless, under massive pressure. What does he do? So he's already benched Fields late in that previous game. But if he starts Tyrod Taylor, then he's saying to the media, he's saying to the whole world that the owner completely controls this team. And I'm just a complete puppet. So, yeah, I mean, he's in an impossible situation. Impossible situation. But based on what we've seen, starting Tyrod Taylor is... You can't say that starting Tyrod Taylor is the right thing to do, because what are you trying to achieve? And moving forward, what are you trying to achieve? You know who Tyrod Taylor is. And to an extent, you know who Justin Fields is. But what are you actually trying to do with this team? And the owner saying what he does, I mean, either say nothing, or if you're going to say something positive. You know, maybe give your players some confidence. But that just, to me, just is part of the reason why that young boy is almost crying outside the stadium saying he hates the team. Anyway, you can't change the owner. Just hope he sells. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. This game, the Bengals, they've just gone back to the simplified, right, let's just get the ball into Chase and Higgins' hands. And it works. they're really, really good. And the Steelers, like we said, they didn't do anything to try to affect it. If you don't knock Flacco off his spot, then he's going to keep doing that. And he did keep doing that. And he can still throw. He's always had a great arm. He's still got the great arm. And that's what the Bengals want to do. And the Jets play. Even the Jets' defense hasn't been that great. Sauce Gardner is not making plays, and he's getting done for penalties constantly for holding. And I don't know. The Jets are just a complete and utter mess. And you've said it before, and I agree that Aaron Glenn really needs to get hold of his defense. Like defense, like what? Like that's his pedigree. He's a defensive coordinator coming into this job, and he's an ex-Jets cornerback. And Sauce Gardner, a first-round pick, is having a shocking start to the season. He needs to get hold of Sauce Gardner, but he's got many problems to work through, not just Sauce Gardner. We don't know who's going to start at quarterback. If I, based on the Jets' recent history, I think it's going to be Tyrod Taylor because, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Glenn gets fired based on the owner and based on recent history. But you can't pick the Jets. You can't pick the Jets to cover based on everything that we've seen. It doesn't matter who starts at quarterback based on what we've seen. They can't. The owner said it. He shouldn't have. They can't complete a pass. So, and the Bengals can complete passes.
You need to double Chase, and unfortunately, you need to double T. Higgins this week, I think. And if that means that you lose one-on-one to Yosevach, or you lose one-on-one to the tight ends, so be it. But don't do what the Steelers did and just get absolutely blown over by Chase and Higgins.
It was so predictable that game. But what would be really encouraging for the Bengals was that their offensive line is getting better.
Mm.
And yeah, with Flacco, they need that to continue. And that's the big takeaway that I have. Yeah, the Bengals are good. Bengals are good at passing the football when they protect the quarterback. Well, duh. Like, look at the guys they have, of course. But the offensive line is getting better, and that's encouraging for the Bengals moving forward. Their defense is still not good, but it's like you said. I don't think it's going to really matter against the Jets. Who's getting traded from the Jets? Big picture, who's getting traded? Brees Hall getting traded. Sauce Gardner getting traded. I think he did get paid. Is Garrett Wilson available for trade? He got paid as well. So I don't know. The Jets are just a total mess, but they will win a game. They will win a couple of games just based on it's the NFL and it's any given Sunday. But yeah, it's not a good look for the Jets. I'd be furious if I was a Jets fan this week with the owner. And you'd know it as well if you like that young boy, like if you just saw Woody Johnson makes announcement. If you didn't know the story, Woody Johnson makes announcement at the owners' meeting, you'd be like, "Oh my God, what has he said?" Without knowing. And then when you hear it, it's as expected. But the really good teams, I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but do you hear anything from the Eagles owner, the Chiefs owner?
Mm.
You hear from the Cowboys owner, you hear from the Panthers owner, you hear from the Jets owner. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a pattern there. You hear from, to an extent, the Jaguars owner. Yeah. Bengals win, Bengals cover, and keep watching whatever the hell is going to come out of New York this week.
Especially with the trade deadline upon us. Okay, we move on. Very interesting game next. 49ers at Texans. I think in this game, the Texans have the best unit and they have the worst unit. The best unit being their defense. I'd be pretty frustrated if I was a member of this defense. I mean, how much more do you want from us to, put us in position to win the game? to win a game. Offensively, I've been a big fan of CJ Stroud, but I have not been more concerned about him than I am now. It's not just the offensive line is bad, but when you see plays where it's like a run play and CJ Stroud turns to his left, the running back is running to the right, it's just a complete mess. Like that to me is, organization, practice, not being on the same page. It's elementary stuff. And, I get it. CJ Stroud has been worn down to a degree with 2 years now of just bad protection. But I'm not going to excuse him for all of these panic throws he's throwing. I'm holding him to the standard. These are sort of Tua type throws. Like, I don't expect it. I'm sorry. And I know that greatness is still in there, but he's a long way off right now. There's a lot of factors. You know me, I've been defending him for a while to say, like last year, a lot of bad protection, and that has continued. But his play in particular has gone down, like, significantly. And that is a cause for concern. And I say all of this, touching wood, that I'm not just jinxing it and awakening a beast, but I have to judge it on what I see, and it's not good right now. You've got Nico Collins in concussion protocol. Christian Kirk has an injury. So bad protection. Your best weapons might not be available. And the run game, it's not really great. It's a bit hit and miss. Yeah, the rookie Marks has given you a bit of a spark at times, but it's not consistent. So it's really hard because the defense is pretty good. Like, they are pretty good. It feels very low scoring, this game. So when we look at the 49ers, Shanahan, I'm just going to say this one time to 49er faithful. Be faithful with Shanahan, because a lot of people drag him and want him out. And all I say to you is, look at the quarterbacks we've had. And we've made Super Bowls with these quarterbacks. Don't lose Shanahan, because one day, if we're lucky enough to stumble across, a generational quarterback, just look at Andy Reid. 20 years, he was known as a nearly man, someone that couldn't get it done. There's no more talk about that since he got Mahomes. And Shanahan is 17-7 with backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has a winning record. And I know he's got a good backup this year in Mac Jones, but it hasn't always been that way. So this game, what can the 49ers do in this game to take advantage of this lackluster Texans offense? Well, our best pass rusher, since Bosa went out, Bryce Huff, is now out. So it's not getting easier for us. But I think the big matchup really is, can the 49ers produce on offense against this Texans defense? They, I think, will slam the door shut on the running game this week. Unless Shanahan has some creativity in his back pocket, which he can do. He had it last week. The way that he was motioning Juszczyk, you look at all of the big McCaffrey runs, Juszczyk was huge in them. And we did have Kittle back. So it went back to old school 49ers. 7 blocking in the run game with Kittle and Juszczyk. It looked night and day better. I'm going to pick the 49ers. I am, because I don't think that I can trust the Texans offense. Like, they might come out and surprise us all and say we're back, but I'm going to have to see it before I can believe it. And I think, as you've said in recent games, coaching matters. And I'm a believer in Shanahan. If that surprises 49er faithful, so be it. I'm a believer in Shanahan. I'm a believer in Salah, who is getting the absolute most out of this defense as well. They're trying. They're fighting hard. So 1.5 point spread in favor of the Texans. 49ers win. 49ers cover.
Yeah, listen, you said it extremely well. It's your team. You know it better than me. Like they do have great coaches, and last week was just a great example of it. The plays that were being drawn up, and my reaction was, wow, they are dominating the Falcons physically, and there's a certain part of it that after getting beaten up constantly, the Falcons didn't want it. And then the 49ers just kept the pressure on, and eventually the Falcons just folded. And the Falcons probably, arguably, have a more talented roster right now than the 49ers. And could have at least in personnel wise gone in there and won that game. So I just fully expect it to continue, that Shanahan is going to create situations for Mac Jones to be successful, Christian McCaffrey to be successful. We don't know how. He's just going to do it. He's going to game plan for the opponent. And it's going to be, I think, more effective than what the Texans are going to be going to game plan for the 49ers. That's what I give them a massive coaching edge. And that's tough because, yeah, D'Amico Ryans is a good head coach, but he's not Shanahan. And the Texans offense is broken. It's totally broken. The offensive line just is affecting everything. So the quarterback now, yeah, I get it. Like, you're disappointed in him. I am too, but he seems to me like he's like lost confidence. He's lost confidence, and maybe there's an element of, like, we saw it with going back, Sam Darnold and the Jets and the seeing ghosts meme and all of that. Like it gets to guys after a while. He doesn't know. He looks like he's completely scrambled back there. Brain just looks like he doesn't know what the hell's going on. They can't run the ball because of the offensive line. They can't protect their quarterback because of the offensive line. The receivers are all banged up, and now their only really top level receiver, Nico Collins, you're saying is banged up this week.
He may make it, but he's in concussion protocol.
Yeah, but he's their only real one. Tank Dell is still not back, and Mixon's not there, and
wow, you forget about they've got key injuries.
Yeah, they have, but it was unfortunately predictable enough to see before the start of the season. We said it that, right, you had a bad offensive line and you let Tunsil walk, and you traded him and you replaced him with somebody in the draft, and it hasn't worked out like it has with the Chiefs so far. And it was only one guy. It's not like you did a Bears and overhauled your offensive line. You only did a sticking plaster on it. And you had the whole of last year where the offensive line was a glaringly obvious problem, and you've got the young quarterback. So I can't pick the Texans. And it doesn't, you should pick the Texans in this spot because they're at home, they really need this.
Can their defense win it for them is my only question. Can their defense do it?
Yeah, and that's the way. That is the way. But
because the Niners have a bit of a turnover problem, and they haven't had an interception in a record amount of games, would you believe? So we're losing the turnover battle a lot of the time.
Well, this is a great week to overcome that. This is a great week to have some fumbles and interceptions against this Texans offense, because the Texans offense is broken. And because of that, and because of what I've just said about their offensive line, and because of the coaching edge that I give the 49ers, I'm going to pick the 49ers this week. So they win and cover.
Okay. Fascinating game next up. The Browns travel to New England. Spread is 7 in favor of the Patriots. Take it away, Paul.
So I'm I'm not as high on the Patriots as obviously the Patriots fans that have now appeared out of the wilderness for a couple of years and have made themselves known to the world. Yeah, we're back, and yeah, look at us, and we're going to do this. And okay, relax yourself. It's weekend. Okay, yeah, Drake May does look pretty good, but you know, lots of quarterbacks look pretty good during the regular season. Like, show me division titles and playoff wins, and yeah, a big win. Okay, the one I give him real credit for is the win against the Bills, where he played really, really. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a hater on Drake May. I think he played really damn well in that game. On the road, division rival against Josh Allen, he played really, really damn well, and he was under pressure and he's making plays. So credit to him, hats off to him. But I'll say that to say this, that like these are the games where the Patriots just need to continue, foot on the gas, keep going. Browns are going to make it hard. Browns have a pass rush. Browns have a defense. But I don't read anything into the Browns beating up on the Dolphins. Anything at all. Like I said with the Dolphins, they kind of they're gift wrapping these games to you lately. So it was so predictable that the Browns are going to beat up on the Dolphins. And let's see if that's a Dylan Gabriel, welcome to the NFL. Now he's going to get some confidence. We don't know, because he's going to need confidence, because they're going to need to keep up with the Patriots this week. The Browns defense, as good at it as it has been, is not going to completely control the Patriots. I still think the Patriots are going to score, 20 points or more in this game. So the Browns are going to need to keep up, and that's going to be on Dylan Gabriel and their rookie running back, Judkins. Is it? Yeah. The game's in New England.
The game's in New England.
And they're 7-point favorites.
7 points.
Okay.
The over-under is 40.5.
Okay. So I said that the Patriots will score 20 or more. So, yeah. And you don't really read anything into the Patriots killing the Titans.
No.
Drake May didn't put up crazy yards, threw a couple of touchdowns. He's making some really, really good throws, though. Remember that throw in the Saints game? Like, he's playing really, really well. But this will be a tough one for him, because the Browns can rush the quarterback, and the Browns have corners. Denzel Ward's still a damn good corner, and their secondary is good in Cleveland. And their defense, like with Jim Schwartz as DC, he's a really good defensive coordinator. Doesn't get love that, a Spags would get or a Salah would get because he's in Cleveland. But he's really, really good. It's Mike Vrabel, though, and you can see he's almost like the Jim Harbaugh. He's had an immediate impact on the Patriots. And I thought it was going to be tougher for him. But I don't know how much it's the Bills win valid. But they've still lost this year to the Steelers, where they completely dominated them and turned the ball or fumbled it, like I think it was 4 or 5 times. And the Raiders at home. So they're a really hard team to read, because how much, except the Bills win, how valid are the Patriots' victories so far? We're going to see as winter comes, winter turns, and the division title's on the line. But they could win the AFC East, and then we still wouldn't even know if they were that good because of their schedule. So it's really interesting with New England. I say that I'm going to say that they cover as well this week. I don't think the Browns can keep up with the Patriots. I think the Patriots will just score enough. I think they win by 10 or more. Don't think Dylan Gabriel is. Yeah, Drake Mays is really talented, and I think he's still, regardless of the defense, and I rate the Browns defense, I still think he's going to make plays. So, yeah, New England win, New England cover.
Hmm. I agree with everything you said. You know, the Patriots could win this division, and we still won't know, how good they really are. To me, I'm just going to say it now. I think they're still a year off. Like I think they still need a little bit more on their roster to really sort of say we're kind of back. And it's quality of wins, isn't it? It's quality of wins. Like they can only beat who's in front of them. But that doesn't make Drake May a top five quarterback or an MVP, even though he's playing very well. And as you said, their one valid win was the Bills. And I don't want to take anything away from them, but the Bills kind of lost that game as well. Like they made a lot of mistakes. But the Patriots outplayed them. So I'm not going to take anything from that. The Browns, honestly, this rookie running back I've fallen in love with, Quinshon Judkins. The way that this guy runs, I love it. And seeing him live, maybe that's influenced me more because I've seen it with my own eyes, just how good he is. But Dylan Gabriel, I said it before, the arm isn't great. And when you don't have a great arm, you need kind of a great system around you. And he's only played, what, 3 games now. So it's not on him. Like this is a tough situation to come into. Like,
Yeah.
who are you feeding? Like you've got the run game, great, but New England have been very good against the run this year. So you might lose that battle. So if there's no run game, like who's he throwing to? I didn't realize that Njoku was out last week, but he might be back this week. Judy could be out. And yeah, okay, the other tight end is pretty good. I think, what's his name? Harold Fanning Jr. He's pretty good, but you can't hang your whole offense on your 2 tight ends. Like, you need a receiver to be a difference maker and, someone that the Patriots will have to respect. I don't think they've got that guy. So I I want to give the Browns a chance, but I don't think their offense gives them a chance because it's really a case of stop Quinshon Judkins from going off, and you'll shut down this offense. I think so. I'm going to take the Patriots. Yeah, I think they cover as well. Like I think that they're playing a good brand of football. Drake May has built up a good connection with his receivers. We kind of see Diggs go in and out. So it tells you that he's playing pretty well, but it's not all on Diggs. It's like we're spreading it around. I still don't love that group, like in terms of like how far can they go. But this week, stop Quinshon Judkins, you win the game, in my opinion. And I think they will do that. And it's a case of don't let Myles Garrett wreck the offense. Can you do that? I think teams have navigated that as of late. So I think the Patriots will do it as well. Next up, wow. This return game has come quickly. The New York Football Giants head into Philadelphia. The spread is 7.5 in favor of the Eagles. What say you, Paul?
I think so. New York sports fans, like with the Jets, it's a complete disaster. But the Giants fans on the other side, like, because somehow it's appeared in my social media feed that I just open my tablet and I immediately get like New York sports radio lately. And I've been listening to bits just because honestly, I find it quite entertaining. But now it's starting to wear a bit thin, like angry guys just kind of shouting. I'm like, I feel their pain, but like, what do you expect? That's with the Jets. With the Giants, they're on the other side. The Giants fans are suddenly like, oh my God, we have Jackson Dart. He is Dan Marino and John Elway all mixed into one. And yeah, we've got Jackson Dart. And I'm like, relax. I mean, he beat the Chargers. All right. Yeah, the Chargers are banged up. And yeah, he played okay, but it was a limited offense. Yeah, he threw for 300 yards against Broncos, but he turned the ball over right at the end when they should have run the ball. And I still don't know how they lost that game. But is it that they have been so starved of success for so long that, yeah, it is. It is that. And it's completely understandable. But relax on Jackson Dart. He is not Patrick Mahomes just yet. Okay. There are promising signs for sure. And the Giants, if they get it together, do have a promising they have the potential to have a promising future. Their defense does have some guys, and you got to be reminded that Malik Neighbors is out. Scatterbo looks like he's going to be a player. At least he plays with attitude and heart, and yeah, that will get you far in this league. But coaching, they lost the game in Denver that it was almost impossible to lose. It was almost impossible to lose. What was it, up 16 with
Was it 19?
nine? They were up. I think it was three scores with 6 minutes to go or something like that. I don't know, but anyway, it was almost.
They gave up 33 in the fourth quarter after shutting them out.
Yeah, but there are bigger fights ahead for the Giants. I mean, this season is not going to be. You're not what you're going to win 7 games, and what's the point in winning 7 games? You might as well be bad. And Jackson Dart, yeah, I get it. Be bad. Jackson Dart shows some promise, and keep drafting and keep surrounding him with weapons and protect him, and that's the blueprint. But I haven't seen everything from Jackson Dart. He still played terrible in New Orleans and gave New Orleans their first and only win so far of the season. He is, yeah, he's the future New York Giants fans, but he's still the only starting quarterback to have handed Spencer Rattler a win so far. So they're not talking about that. They're talking about, oh my God, Jackson Dart. Is that he's actually good, or is that you're the Giants and you're beaten up mentally, you're mentally scarred enough, or do you hate Russell Wilson that much that Jackson Dart is the anti-Russell Wilson, so you love him more than he deserves? Anyway, little rant over. That's just my New York, and I'm going to stop listening to New York sports media from now because there's a lot of angry guys on there, and they're a bit shouty. Yeah, this game, uh, Giants. I don't know. I don't know. What's the spread in this?
7.5.
Okay,
The over-under is 43.5.
okay. Eagles revenge. Eagles got dominated by the Giants physically the last time, which was really surprising. But Saquon did still run the ball on them. I think the Eagles get revenge, and I think the Eagles are gonna hand it to the Giants. And who knows what we're going to see from the Giants and Jackson Dart? Like, yeah, I just think the Giants just relax into it a little bit. Just enjoy the ride with Jackson Dart. Just don't put him under any unnecessary pressure. And maybe then he's not under any pressure as well because of Russell Wilson and because of the Jets are so bad. So and that will probably continue. So enjoy this time, the Giants, and you don't really want to win these games either. Big picture, I know you do. You hate the Eagles, division rival, and you don't want to ever tank or anything. But big picture, there's no good to come from winning this game, and I don't think they will. I think the Eagles are going to. I think the Eagles will be out for revenge, and I think they're going to kick their ass.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that the Giants have reached a point where they're losing in heartbreaking fashion, like, shows that they've actually progressed
Yeah,
from getting their asses kicked week in, week out.
yeah.
They should have won the game. And unfortunately for Jackson Dart, he threw an ill advised interception, still up 10 at that point, that just carried the momentum that the Broncos already had from scoring. And, to then miss the point after when they retook the lead with like less than a minute to go, you're sort of thinking, oh, like it's one play and you're in field goal range.
Mm.
And so it's just some mental mistakes there, big mistakes. Interception up 10, don't need to happen.
Can I
Missing the point after.
can I just make one final point about New York sports media while I remember it?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So the Giants and I can't remember the exact scenario, but the Giants being up as they were late in the game, I heard two guys who were on the same show argue conflicting points about the Giants, and they were both really shouty about it. So the first guy, Tiki Barber, ex-Giant, and yeah, really, really good running back, was arguing that all you've got to do is run the ball. And why the hell did he pass on third down? Because basically, all you got to do is run it, and then the Broncos need an onside kick. Just based on they didn't have enough time. They didn't have enough time on the clock to have enough possessions to come back into the game. And the guy who was on the same show as him was then arguing that the reason the Giants lost the game was because they got too conservative. I was like, what the hell am I listening to? And they were agreeing with each other. I'm like, yeah, but you're arguing opposing views. What the hell is going on? So if I'm a Giants fan listening to it, I'm like, so hold on, which one was right? Who should I be angry at, or should I just be angry in general? But anyway,
I think that's, yeah. I mean, running the ball on third and medium or third and long isn't going to get you very far. Okay, 40 seconds or a timeout burned on the Broncos. It's just the fact that it was an interception. Because if that goes incomplete, the Giants are punting and hopefully the Broncos are starting from the 20-yard line, say, which is very different from starting, basically in the red zone. And then even after that, missing the point after to give you a 3-point lead. Now you're up 2. I mean, I've got something to say about this when we get to the Broncos,
yeah.
as to why that might be the case. But
Do you know that? Do you know that kicker? Right, I heard this. That kicker is the only kicker in NFL history to have missed 2 extra points, not blocked. He just missed them, and the team lost by 1 point.
Yeah.
So, and he's now been cut.
Mm. Yep. It's a tough life. Like, you're a kicker, you have one job. Don't get me started on kickers because I've endured enough. But just as a side note, like, I endured so much that, and I don't want to jinx him, but My kicker's now made 17 in a row, like 17 out of 17. So bit of balance there. Anyway, Jackson Dart though, like I have been impressed with some of his play.
Yeah,
As you said though, it's easy to get overexcited, and you won't have experienced this, Paul, but as a 49er fan, I have experienced 12 and what is it, 12, sorry, 2 and 14 seasons, back to back. And then getting Jimmy Garoppolo, who goes 6-0, and yeah, I'm getting a little bit overexcited about it. So we'll see where it goes. Like you said, no expectations. Sort of, it's your rookie year, so this is the time to make mistakes and figure things out.
yeah,
Scatterbo, though, I keep saying it. This guy is like changing the DNA of the Giants. Like he is setting the tone for the culture with his physicality, the way that he runs, and it reminds me of what I used to say about Debo. Like when your team sees what he's doing, running through three players, like they are gonna get lifted by that. There's no doubt about it. That's a real thing. They did absolutely bulldoze the Eagles last time, but the Eagles didn't have Jalen Carter. And we saw the Jalen Carter effect last week when he got to Wentz and forced the pick six. Jalen Carter doesn't get credited with that. Maybe on the Eagles' Instagram he will, but Jalen Carter doesn't get credited for that. And he was a big reason why that happened. So I agree. I think the Eagles bounce back. No, sorry, not bounce back. Revenge game. They bounced back last week. Jalen Hurts made big plays in the passing game. As AJ Brown was caught on the mic after his touchdown, he said, "This is why you throw me the fucking ball." So, but it wasn't just him. They got Devonta Smith going like, there was some big time plays there. The Giants will be wounded. It's that risk of one loss turns into two because you're still hurting from that previous loss. I know the feeling from Madden online sometimes. I think the Eagles will, I think the Eagles will get their revenge. They've got to reinvent this run game, though, because they have not fixed that. We've seen, great performances from Jalen Hurts in the passing game, not so great. We have not seen that in the run game. We haven't. We've seen moments like against the Giants in the first quarter or the first drive, Saquon gashing for like 15 yards. That dwindled away. We have not seen a full performance in the run game from the Eagles yet. So they have a lot to figure out still. But I don't think that will be enough to derail them this time in Philadelphia. The crowd is going to be absolutely pumped for this. Eagles win. Yeah, this might be a letdown game for the Giants. I don't like picking the Eagles to cover because they often keep it close, but I will this week. Eagles cover. Right, next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Saints. The Bucks are favored by 4.5. Baker is already talking about how he doesn't like the Saints' conduct, so the cogs in his head are already turning to be angry and up for this game. He didn't play very well against the Lions. He was under a lot of pressure from the get-go, and it got to him. They lost Mike Evans. That's a huge loss. To think that they got him back, and now he's got a broken collarbone, that's a huge blow. But Ibuka was getting open. Tez Johnson was getting open. So that is a promising sign for me. They've got players that can fill that void. I know it's Mike Evans, and that's, it's almost like irreplaceable with his savviness and the big plays he'll give you. But these young receivers were getting open in that game, and they will get open against the Saints. I think there could be a lot of big plays that Baker was really missing. Like he kept throwing balls high. That was just to me, I'm just going to put it down to it was an off night for Baker. The pressure got to him, and he missed throws that he normally would make. The Saints are not the Lions. Uh, yeah,
No.
they certainly are not the Lions. Uh, they won. They got their win against the Giants. I don't think they're going to win this game. Baker's going to be up for it because it's one of those games where you don't want to make it complacent because it is a divisional game. But when you lose a game to like the Lions where you didn't play well, and you look at the schedule and you get the Saints next, I reckon Baker's sitting there thinking, I want to stick it to this lot because I'm pissed off with how we played last week. So, quite simply, Buccaneers win, Buccaneers cover. Yes, it's a divisional. It could be closer than I think it will be, but I don't. I think the Bucks will be out for blood, and I see a blowout.
What did you say that Baker was saying about the Saints?
He does. He says he said basically that when we've played them in the past, something along the lines of he doesn't like the way they've conducted themselves. You know, with like the whole Lattimore Evans fiasco that used to happen every game.
Yeah,
It's a divisional. We hate each other.
yeah. With some players, I would hate that, but with Baker, I love it. Absolutely love it. Getting himself, you said it, like he didn't
Michael
perform.
Jordan style.
Yeah, he didn't perform to his standard against the Lions last week in prime time, in front of the nation when he's MVP, and he would have hated that. And he's just, knowing Baker's career path so far, he's trying to get himself into it for this week because yeah, even though it's a division rival, it's the Saints, and it's you know a lot of teams wouldn't be motivated to play the Saints because they are a less than team. And the Saints defense is not good. And yeah, and the Bears just cruised through that game last week and didn't play all that well and just handled business against the Saints. And Spencer Rattler is back to being who he was before. Uh, yeah, I think that this is a great game for Tampa Bay, and I'm surprised that the spread is only 4 points. That's a reaction to that game against Detroit. And yeah, like you said, I put it down to an off night for Baker. The plays that were happening where he was performing miracles to get out of pressure, and then he was rattled, and then he was just about to let go of the ball, and he would usually expect him to make a great throw or set off on a great scramble. It just didn't seem to happen against the Lions. And I don't know for what reason.
Baker's now 0-4 against this era of Lions, which is interesting. Like that's going to be in his head when they meet again. They just
Okay. But on that stat, he's 0-4 against the Lions. I can remember 3 of those games being in Detroit. I can't remember a Tampa Detroit game in Tampa.
you're right, it's 3-1. There was one game in Tampa where Jameson Williams, it was like a coming out party. He had like a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
But only really one of them has been close. So
Yeah.
it's that tells you though that we're talking about the Bucks, toe to toe with the Lions. That's how far they've come.
Yeah. They were disappointed that the Bucks didn't weren't really, really close with Detroit in their stadium. Yeah, and the Bucks being banged up. Yeah, it's exactly what you said. Look at its expectations, recent expectations, the big picture. The Bucks are, yeah, they'll be worried about Evans, but big picture, I think they're okay. I think they're okay. Evans with a collarbone should be back.
Might be back. Yeah,
Couple of months, a collarbone.
possibly. I mean, it sounds like they think he might be out for the year, but
Should
it's so early to say right now.
I mean, I'm not an NFL player, but I have broken my collarbone, and I was this is two. It was 2 months.
Mm.
Two.
So yeah,
He could. I'm just saying. I'm not a medical professional. He could have a chance, but
yeah, yeah.
it's just collarbone. Yeah.
It's so early for them to make that decision. It's kind of like we'll side on the side of caution, but he's an NFL superstar. He's a high functioning athlete. He's probably going to be back in time for the playoffs, I would hope.
Yeah. But Tampa, like big picture, yeah, losing to the Lions is not a deal. It's not a big deal, but they are in your conference and they are the elite of the conference. So
They've lost to the two elite teams. They've lost to the Eagles. They've lost to the Lions. You know.
yeah, yeah. And do you remember the preseason? We said that that's the thing with the Tampa. They're going to win those games. They're going
Yeah.
to win these games, the Saints games, the Panthers game. But can they win those games? Because last year they were competitive in those games.
Mm.
But you need to win them. Yeah, they won in the regular season, but they need to win them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's the Bucs season, and yeah, I hope Baker gets back to it because he was my MVP preseason pick, and I want him to come back. And I like it. I like the sounds that he's talking trash about the Saints. He's getting himself going. I love that, and yeah, I think they're going to kill the Saints this week. I think they win by 10 plus.
Yeah. And I just want to say, my seventh round guy, Tez Johnson, that touchdown that he scored, this is a prime opportunity for him while Evans is out. Go and take it because he's been making big plays since
Yep.
he's come into the team. Right, next up, very interesting game. The Dallas Cowboys go into Denver. Denver are favored by 3.5. I got to give it to you. You called it last week with the Cowboys, against the Commanders. I felt like even without Debo and even without McLaurin, I thought, yeah, the Cowboys will find a way to lose the game. They were on it. Like this offense, the Commanders' defense was a bit of a stinker in the first half, but we've seen CeeDee Lamb and Pickens together now. This is the second time. And yeah, okay, forget about the broken play that CeeDee Lamb scored the touchdown on. This is hard to stop when they're on an on day. I
Yeah.
mean, they wouldn't throw it to Pickens, right? Unless they were throwing it deep to him or 20 yards plus. And whoever was guarding him, I don't know who it was, they just picked the moment. They were just like, one on one, Pickens is going to come down with it because he's a freak. Like, he is a freak. Can he be consistent, though? We'll see. This is a tough matchup, though, because you've only got one Patrick Surtain. So pick your poison. I'm guessing he's going to be on CeeDee Lamb. And they've got a rookie corner who they like a lot on the other side for Pickens. Maybe you double Pickens because Surtain that will be a tough assignment for Lamb to get open. So if it was me, one-on-one, Surtain v. Lamb, and then I'm doubling Pickens because I don't want to give away any explosives against him. And you let Ferguson over the middle beat you. The Broncos, they don't have Dre Greenlaw because he decided to go after a referee after the game. This offense, I can't figure it out. I can't because they can look so bad and then they just click into gear when they kind of need to. I don't think Sean Payton is doing a good job at keeping Bo Nix in rhythm. Like, I think that you need to keep him going, keep him throwing to keep him hot. all this like we're going to run the ball heavily, it kind of affects him, I think. So that's another factor. Can the I think it comes down to, can the Cowboys win on offense? And I say no. I think the Broncos, like if this was in Dallas, I might have a different opinion, but it's in Denver, and we've seen this story before. I didn't pick the Cowboys last week, and they shut me up. But I'm going to pick against them again this week, even though the Broncos' offense concerns me. I still think this Cowboys' defense isn't very good, and the Commanders, yeah, they know the Commanders. Jaden Daniels didn't have, a plethora, like three receivers down. Not everyone is Shanahan that can figure it out. Like that's a lot of receivers down. And, Scary Terry, Debo, Noah Brown. Okay, that's a lot when you don't really have a great running game. Yeah, I'm going to pick Denver to win the game and just hope that it's an on day for this offense because it is a concern.
You were never going to pick the Cowboys. Like I was just listening to that, thinking, "Go on, do it, do it." And I knew you were never going to do it. You're never going to pull the trigger and go with Dallas, despite all the glowing things you said about. And it does. It doesn't. Sometimes this game doesn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense. It doesn't make sense to pick Denver this week based on what we have seen in recent games, but it makes perfect sense for me anyway, big picture, to pick Denver at home, outdoors, on grass against Dallas. Well, not a dome team, but a turf, an artificial turf team, pretty much a dome, controlled environment. They want to play with speed and a complete Jekyll and Hyde team. They're good at home, and then they lose to the Panthers on the road. They're good at home. They beat the Commanders at home, but then they'll lose to the Eagles, but they'll get credit in the loss. But the headline is they still lose on the road. So, and Denver, home conditions, defense, they've got a really good secondary. The rookie corner, Barron's playing well. And the kind of they're not a no-name defense anymore. They've got some guys. Hufanga's playing. Sorry to remind you, I know he left your squad, but he's playing really, really well, and he's making a difference in the secondary. And
I love it. I love him. I hope he does do well and continues to do well.
They're rushing the quarterback, and the defense is causing opposing teams problems. And look at the Denver games this year. Every game is close. Every game. Like the Eagles game was really, really close. The Giants game was kind of crazy. And both of those games, the Eagles and the Giants, they should have lost. 99 times, I don't know, 9 out of 10 times, both games, if you're betting and running. It's almost like wait until
for them to go behind.
Wait till Denver go behind in the fourth quarter and just bet the money line. Yeah, like look at
I like it.
It's been kind of crazy, but they've won these games, and I think what their record they're winning the division, aren't they? They're first place in the AFC West. I know that, or it's a tie
by one. Yeah, they're winning it by one.
Yeah. So, but the wins will count the same at the end of the season. It's only wins that count. Wins, loss, and some stupid ties.
It doesn't matter how you win them as well. But what I would say is, it's not sustainable for them to win like this all the time. But this is the point though. We're in the regular season. This is the time to figure things out.
But it's not a running game. Like this.
Yeah,
Harvey is going to be a player in this league. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it makes perfect sense. I'm going to pick Denver to beat Dallas because they win games at home and close, and Dallas lose games in new ways on the road. So, yeah, I'm going to pick the Broncos.
Okay. And just last point, I want to say it is fitting the way that they won that game on the day that they inducted Demarius Thomas into the Ring of Honor, who sadly died at the age of 33, that they score 33 points in the fourth quarter to win it on his day. So we move on. There's not a lot to say about this game, I don't think. It's Titans at Colts, a ridiculous spread of 14.5. Colts win. That's all I'm going to say. Colts win. The bigger question for me is, at any point, are you going to reach the stage where you think the Colts are a true contender? Because, and this is going to sound harsh, I'm not going to get there. And I think they could do really well this year. But are they going to win the AFC? In my opinion, they are not. I'm sorry. And that sounds harsh because we're in week 8. But I've seen this movie before. Like, we're going to get to the playoffs. They might win a game. They might win 2 games if they're lucky. But I just don't see it. And, it's like I don't want to poo poo their season because they're having a great season. And I fully expect them to absolutely destroy the Titans this week. But I don't know. There's something that is going to be missing for me when we get to January. Can they find it this week before the trade deadline to change my mind? Because they're really well coached. Clearly, really well coached. And it's a bit of an indictment on Anthony Richardson, how well they've played this
Yeah.
season. Because not a lot has changed since last year. Okay, they've added, an unbelievable prospect at tight end, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, this guy could be like George Kittle style. The Titans, yeah, it's a tough road for them. They're in a tough spot. They fired their head coach. They don't have any talent. They've released Tyler Lockett. This season is just in the mud, to be honest. I don't know how Cam Ward can develop really through the season. Hopefully it's like a Panthers thing where later in the year they're picking teams or they're playing teams that have lost interest or have checked out just to get some feel good going into the off season. But this is another tough day. The Colts are playing very well, and I hate to be such a Doctor Doom on their season, but they will stomp all over this Titans team. I say they cover.
Yeah. So I was just listening to you on the Colts, and I wanted to ask, like, why are you not, do you not think that the Colts can do anything? Because, like, based on what, and I haven't watched Colts games in detail except the Rams game. I watched that game start to finish, and they played damn well. And if the that stupid play at the goal line doesn't happen, then they beat the Rams in LA, and then they're undefeated. And so far, so I don't know what more they could have. I don't think they could have done any more to this point. Like
No,
Jonathan,
it's true. It's true. It's just the way that they played against the Cardinals, I think, like spooked me. Like, you're getting dotted up by Jacoby Brissett here,
yeah.
and I just think that when we get to January, it's a different ball game. Like teams get hot in the regular season, but are they going to go into Arrowhead, for example, and beat the Chiefs? I don't see it.
Well, it could be the other way. It could be that the Chiefs are coming in there.
Oh, it could be. Are they
Because
going to win that game?
they're in the South, so their schedule, and they've already got a couple of game lead.
Mm.
So yeah, the Colts, if they just keep going and keep like running through their schedule and keep like reeling in these wins, next week they play the Steelers. So if they go into Pittsburgh and beat them, a potential rival for like seeding in the playoffs, potentially, then you're going to really take the Colts seriously. They've got one loss on their schedule, the Rams, and the
Mm.
NFC.
They could have won that.
Yeah, they lost some guys. They lost some guys on the offensive line in the off season, and their offensive line is still really really damn good.
Mm.
But they've always been good with O line. They've always been good at drafting offensive linemen. The Colts. You just always know, right? The Colts are going to have a good offensive line, which is in turn going to help the quarterback and help Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor is Saquon from last year, this year. He's playing like that run last week. Like he seems to be getting. I don't know if it's my TV or my resolution, but he seems to be getting quicker as he gets older.
He's had a number of like jaw-dropping runs this year. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, he's still, like you said, it's like he's quicker.
yeah, it just seems to be rapid. Yeah, like oh no, I thought running backs are supposed to like slow down or be, when they
Short
have
shelf life.
yeah, when they have so many carries and they're into their second contract, then they're supposed to, oh yeah, just trash can and then get a new one. And not Jonathan Taylor.
Mm.
And the tight end, like you said, and big picture, like, why was he the second tight end picked? Like the Bears could have made another catastrophic error in the draft and let in Tyler Warren go. But you know, good teams draft well, and the Colts are a good team, and they. I said that going into the season, like that. Yeah, they've got a lot of players. They're a 7, 8 out of 10 roster, and they've got a lot of players. It's just they don't. I didn't believe in Daniel Jones, but maybe I didn't believe or I didn't have enough confidence in the head coach. I knew the head coach was good, but the head coach is having a massive influence so far on Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones is now playing with some confidence, and the play calls are putting him in good situations. Like he's moving him around so he can throw and he can run, and the running game adds that element. Like you've got the dual threat of Jones and Taylor can both. Where's the ball? Who's taking the handoff? And Tyler Warren just catches everything. So it's short, medium. They've got that, and Pittman's still a really damn good receiver. And the defense is just steady. Like it's not spectacular, but they've got Grover Stewart and they've got your guy Buckner in the middle. They've got some guys. Like the Colts have a roster, so I think we shouldn't like relax on the Colts. If we relax with the Colts and let them have a 14-15 win season, and then they're the number one seed, and we go, oh yeah, but like it's the Colts. We'll still like they're not going to get through. They might like they've got some players. We're going to learn nothing from this week against
No.
Titans. And big picture from this game, coaching matters. Look at the Titans coaching and look at the Colts coaching, and yeah, I think the Colts are going to destroy the Titans this week. And yeah, I say they cover 14 points. I don't know, like yeah, it's a lot, but it's the Titans.
The Titans are so bad.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. You've cut Tyler Lockett, and they didn't even have any receivers of note to begin with. So who the hell plays receiver for the Titans now? So it's still Calvin Ridley, and
who's not great.
no, at this point in his career, he's not great. I know you still got the tight end, the Chico Konku, or
Yeah.
yeah. You still got Pollard, and you still got Taji Spears. But your offensive line is not good, and you're not even handing the ball off because your offensive line is not good, and it's just Cam Ward back there just trying to play hero ball, but he's not a hero yet. Like,
Did they had the number one pick, didn't they? They didn't trade up to get it.
yeah, they're the number one. They're no trade.
Because you look at this roster and you almost say you probably should have tried to get a package to make the roster better. I know it's
Yeah.
easy to say now, but we both were kind of like, okay, like Cam Ward probably is going to be, or he's a talent, but how often do these number one pick quarterbacks work out? Like,
Mm,
okay, the year that you decide to trade back, there's always that fear factor that that'll be the year that you pass on the next Josh Allen or Mahomes. But more often than not, if you could get a package, I mean, look at the Bears. Was it the Bears? They traded with the Panthers.
yeah.
You get a
Yeah.
haul like that, it gives you a better chance, I think.
Yeah. Bryce Young and Caleb turned into Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
Caleb Williams and another pick. I can't remember what they took that year, but
I
yeah,
think it was a few picks, like so. Okay, some later round, but the Titans, I don't know. Like, it's not going to happen in one off season. Like,
no,
this is a big job now.
yeah. And they were chanting for Vrabel last week.
Oh
Un-
boy,
Understandable, of course.
yeah, yeah. Right, we move to Sunday night football. One of the games that you circle before the season begins. Packers going into Pittsburgh. It is Rodgers against his old team. Rodgers can become the fifth quarterback of all time to beat every single team with a win here. I know it's not about that, but it kind of is to him as well.
Yeah.
Big game, Paul. Take it away for your Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers games just don't always make sense according to how you predict how you predict logically they should happen. So last week I said predicting the Bengals game, I said all the reasons why the Steelers would lose that game, and it turned out that they did lose that game because they lose on Thursday night. But I say that to say that this game is the flip side of this. They are an underdog at home in prime time against a team where the quarterback has motivation to win. And it doesn't make sense to pick the Steelers, but that is one of the reasons why I believe that they will win this game because they win in these kind of spots. They just do. Just Mike Tomlin as a home underdog. Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. You're giving me 3 points. Okay, cool. Perfect. Perfect. I'll take the 3 points and I'll take a money line. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you. And but I say that it doesn't make sense because when you look at the matchup this week, the the Packers are more talented than the Steelers overall. I mean, overall, the Packers are a very, very talented football team all around. And the kind of strength of the Packers, or one of the strengths of the Packers, they're not spectacular, but just the number of weapons that they have on offense doesn't isn't a good matchup for the Steelers, especially after what we saw with Higgins and Chase last week. But the Steelers defense is going to play a lot better. It's going to play better this week. And Mike Tomlin is going to have absolutely let his defense know about how they played against the Bengals. And they're not going to turn in that kind of performance at home after that on extra rest as well. So they played on Thursday night. They've got the extra rest. And they were embarrassed on Thursday night against the Bengals. They were. They've had extra time to get ready for Green Bay. And it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it makes perfect sense because it's happened so many times. They win these kind of games against all logic. They just do. And Aaron Rodgers has I believe, greater motivation to beat the Packers than the Packers have to beat Aaron Rodgers. He was more pissed at leaving Green Bay. And I don't think anyone's left except the GM.
Mm.
That like the head coach is, yeah, it was the same head coach,
Yeah,
but
the roster's changed a bit, but yeah, front office is still the same. I'm guessing LaFleur hasn't changed his coaching tree that much. So, same guys.
yeah,
Maybe defensive coordinator has changed. So,
yeah, the Packers have been steady this year. They should have been. They should. But the Packers have been steady, but they're the number one seed in the NFC.
yeah.
So how can you ask much more of the Packers? I mean, but they're still not. You still wouldn't be really confident in the Packers based on what I've seen so far. But you know that the Packers are gonna. There's more to come from them moving
Oh, yeah.
forward. But I think the Steelers defense is going to make a big improvement on the Bengals showing, and my goodness, they need to, and I think they will. And I think the Steelers, I think DK Metcalf's going to have a big game because I think the way to get at the Packers is the corners. And yeah, it doesn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense. The Steelers win when they're underdogs at home.
Okay. I'm not going to tell me if I go off on too much of a tangent, but I absolutely loved what I saw from Rodgers last Thursday. Like, I know it's the Bengals defense, but there were throws in that game that took me back where I was sort of like, he's wearing number 8, but there's a bit of prime 12 left in him. Like, the throw to Fryermuth gave me chills. Like, it made me think about those good days when, and I'll say it with my chest, when he was the best quarterback in the NFL for a long time. He's still got something in him. And, we said it, over the weekend. The offense is looking pretty good. As long as Broderick Jones doesn't flatten Rodgers like he did on Thursday night, this has got a lot of promise, I think. I still stand by what I've been saying, though. This week, after the game, find your number 2 receiver, because that will really just take it to another level. I mean, look at your tight ends. Like, Johnny Smith isn't really getting a look in because you've got this monster. You'll have to forgive me, I've forgotten his name. Who's the monster tight end?
Darnell Washington, the six,
Darnell Washington.
it's a huge human.
And he's athletic as well for his size. I mean, he can make plays. And obviously, Fryermuth, like, there's kind of like a merry-go-round of who's going to get it this week.
Yeah.
And we know DK Metcalf is a freak. But I still feel like get that number 2 in. Like, I'm not saying, the dream scenario, go and get AJ Brown. But, get an Olave, someone like that, like to just say, well, we can't really double Metcalf because there's someone else on the other side. But defensively, I mean, I feel for Jalen Ramsey. That was tough to watch. Like, on one hand, I'm watching who used to be my favorite quarterback make some unbelievable throws. 70-yard Hail Mary. I was like, if he pulls this off, like, I'm going to explode. But on the flip side, seeing Jalen Ramsey just getting absolutely cooked, like passed around by Chase and Higgins, that was a tough assignment. And it's not his fault, in my opinion, because it's what we said. The Steelers just kind of sat there and did the same thing all night. Like, do you not think you need to double, even just Chase at some point? Or we're just going to let him have the 3rd most receptions in NFL history in a single game? The Packers, Yeah, they're the number one seed, and I think the most promising thing I can say for them is that they keep playing with their food and they're still there. Like, I still stand by what I'm saying. They are being more dominant in phases than the scores suggest.
Mm.
You know, they,
Yeah.
okay, there's been a bit of garbage time. Like the Lions scored a garbage time touchdown in week one to make that score look closer. But the Packers only scored 26. They could have scored 40 that day. So moving forward, the Packers, if they find it, they could be really dangerous, I think. But they've got to find it. And they haven't found it yet. They're playing at a very good level, but they can reach more. Last week was not great, though. Like, struggling past the Cardinals. They win the game because the Cardinals go for it on fourth down, like basically in field goal range, and they don't get it. So they kind of got handed it in the end, and they were. I watched the fourth quarter. They were on their heels when the Cardinals had the ball. Okay, they made the stop in the end. Packers should win this game. If they played at their absolute optimum, I think they would win this game. And Jordan Love, I'm still super high on, but they've got to find it. And because they haven't found it yet, we've sort of been here before. Like in week two, I was like, the Steelers will beat the Seahawks. It's their home opener. And they laid an egg. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that. And I feel like I'm walking into that this week where Rodgers v the Packers, Rodgers super motivated, the Steelers, you know, just win these games. But I do think the Steelers win this game. They've had the extra time to prepare for it. And coming off the loss, they'll be desperate to pull it right. And Rodgers can say what he wants. LaFleur can say what he wants about this just being another game. It's not. It's not. This is Rodgers' chance to just get one over the team and say, you were wrong to let go of me. So,
Yeah. And to become the fifth guy in NFL history to defeat fifth quarterback in NFL history, excuse me, to have beaten all 32 teams.
yeah. And the
This
way he's playing,
is it. He's not around for 4 more years to play the Packers again. So
no. It makes me wonder, though, if he's going to play at this level, and I'm not saying like he's playing at a top 10 level or anything like that, but if he's going to play at this level, I don't want this to be the end this season. I want him to continue. But we'll take it game by game. We'll see how it goes because it can change very quickly.
we're
But
going
I'm
to have
just
months to discuss that
yep,
between what March, because with Rodgers, he's gonna prolong
drag it
that.
out. Yeah, yeah.
We have months to discuss that.
Here and now, here and now.
8.
Week 8, Rodgers gets it done, and the Steelers that will move the Steelers to 5-2, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So this is, and you'll have to remind me, the Steelers' schedule, it started kind of soft and it gets hard, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the start of it now. This is where it Packers, Colts, and then going to get the Ravens twice, get the Bengals again.
Mm.
The heavyweights in the AFC are upcoming as well. Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait for this game though. It's going to be a great game. Right. So to round off week 8, we have Monday Night Football, not a double header. Commanders at the Chiefs. There is no Jaden Daniels this week. That might explain why the spread is 12.5 in favor of the Chiefs. The over under is 47, Paul. What do you think of this one?
think the Commanders are in danger of like the season's just going to get away already.
Mm.
Now, you know, they're what's their record? They've got
Are they? Let's have a look.
I think they're with another loss. I think they're finding it really, really tough to
They're,
even make it as a wild card.
they're 3-4 right now.
Yeah, and Daniels is out this week, but not expected to be out for that long.
I
Again,
don't know what. Like I thought it was a hamstring.
right?
So
But the thing that's why you got Mariota is that he is the perfect. You know, he came in and played well as a backup before. He's the perfect. He's a perfect like Jaden Daniels backup.
yeah,
Similar style. I mean, he's not Jaden Daniels, but he tries to be. He's a Jaden Daniels B minus, but he's not. Yeah, he's not. But he wants to play in the same sort of way. Um, yeah, I think the only way they keep this close is with the running game, and yeah, they're going to need to run the ball. I think they might be able to run the ball a bit, but I think it might get away from them early. The Chiefs have now got a couple of guys back, and I do not like the Commanders' secondary. And I definitely don't like it with the Chiefs getting some weapons back, and now Mahomes getting a bit of confidence, and now throwing all over the place and no look passes because now he's got a bit more confidence because the offensive line's giving him time. And yeah, there's too many arguments for the Chiefs to crush the Commanders rather than the Commanders to cover it. The only way I think they cover is if they can run the ball, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to be behind early, and this is Chiefs. The Chiefs like don't often win games by double digits, let alone 13 points. Ah, screw it. I'm going to say they do this week. I think
they did last week.
they did, yeah, but not often. They often like are
Yeah,
involved in close ones. But yeah, I'm going to say they kind of ride the momentum a little bit. I think their offense showed encouraging signs that Mahomes feeling himself. I think he's going to have a lot of fun against this Commanders defense.
yeah.
Yeah,
They did not. They were awful. Like they. I mean, it's a tough assignment, Lamb and Pickens, but like I think they said that last week was the first game in which Worthy Rice and Hollywood Brown saw the field together in the last 2 years.
yeah, it's
And
crazy.
it was like they obviously force fed it to Rice a lot and he made the most of it and it was like a welcome back sort of party. It's not going to be like that every week, but they've got a spell here now where they can figure out who they are in the passing game because we haven't seen Worthy and Rice together all that often. And when you look at it, it's the perfect marriage. Like these are not top receivers in my opinion, but they can be productive enough, and Mahomes will definitely raise them up. So if you get Rice, operating underneath and Worthy going downfield, it's like the perfect two. And then you still have Hollywood Brown, who has been somewhat productive. Kelsey seems to, pick his moments to come up with a big play. Like he loved playing against the Raiders last week. So they are definitely on the up. And so the Broncos and the Chargers, I'd say the Chargers have missed their boat because they lost games they should have won and the injuries have just caught up with them. But I said it, you had to be ahead of the Chiefs by week 6 because when the Chiefs get these guys back, it's probably going to be a different story. I am also going to say the Chiefs cover because I don't like the Commanders' defense. And Mariota is a solid backup, but he is a backup. And Jalen Daniels lifts this team more than I think I realized. So Chiefs win, Chiefs cover. Right, week 8. Who's going off draft? First pick, Paul. Who have you got?
I am going to say I'm not just going to pick Jonathan Taylor as I could. I'm gonna I'm gonna pick DK Metcalf against Packers. I think he is going to be involved. I think if there is a way to get at Green Bay, it's in the secondary. Rodgers is going to feed him at home. Yeah, I think DK Metcalf is going to have a big game this week. So give me DK Metcalf.
I am going to be captain obvious. It's not Jonathan Taylor, but I can't not pick him because of the volume of targets he's getting. I'm taking Jamar Chase against the Jets. Flacco is going to force feed it to him, and he is going to maximize those targets. If it is Sauce Gardner, it doesn't matter right now. This is one of the two best receivers in the NFL. And if he gets 15 targets, he's going over 100.
I'm going to pick I'm going to pick Rico Dowdle again against the Bills. So Bills run defense. Sorry to just keep banging on the Bills run D, but yeah, whoever plays running back for the Panthers, and recently it's been Rico Dowdle, who's had a couple of 200-yard games. Yeah, whatever the over is, wherever they give you 80 rushing yards or something, just take it.
Okay. This guy's been a bit quiet as of late, but he's playing your favorite defense, the Dolphins. I say bounce back game for Drake London. The focus, I mean, it's going to be on Bijan, and he may go off and they won't need the passing game. But I'm going to bet that the Dolphins at least try to slow down that running game. And if they overcommit to that, who is Michael Penix's favorite target? It is Drake London, and he can go off when he's on. So I say this is a week that he does.
Okay. Um, Giants, Eagles, Commanders, Chiefs. Who the Cowboys got again?
Denver.
No. Uh, Falcons. No, no, not the Falcons.
You got tonight.
No. Yeah, you could take Jefferson. I'm going to take Christian McCaffrey again.
Ooh.
Texans. I know the Texan defense is supposed to be elite and keeping them in games. Yeah, but it's Christian McCaffrey, and he's coming off a really good performance last week. And it's Shanahan. He's going to be involved. He's going to carry the football. He's going to catch the football. And I think he's showing that he is still a really elite running back. So I'll take CMC.
Love it. I'm going to back the receiver who caught my eye in the off season when I was trying to watch Dylan Gabriel's film. I'm taking Tez Johnson to have a big game against the Saints. They've got to focus on Ibuka because he'll go off as well. But I love what I'm seeing from Tez Johnson. You know, this is what the NFL's all about. 7th rounder trying to make a name for himself. He's made big plays already, and I say he makes more big plays against this bad Saints defense. Week 8 best bets. I'll kick us off then. I'll kick us off.
Okay.
I'm taking the Bucks -4.5 against the Saints. I think that this is like classic. We are angry and we're going to take it out on you type of a game.
This is a tough week for best bets because there's a lot of big spreads.
Mm.
But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stay true to what I believe. The coaching really, really does matter. And I'm going to take San Francisco are underdogs minus
Plus
plus
two.
plus two. I'll take it. The 49ers +2 at the banged up Texans.
Okay. Well, I will see that, and I will take your Pittsburgh Steelers +3. Even if they were to lose this game, the Packers don't seem to be able to blow teams out. So I like the Steelers to win, but if they lose, I think it will be as close as a field goal.
I really don't like this week's Lions.
Vegas of yeah.
Yeah, they just set the numbers exactly where I kind of thought they would be.
It's always like dangerous when you've got like a double digit spread because it looks, you look at it and go, that makes sense.
Hmm.
But, Colts Titans, it is a divisional game at the end of the day. So you look at the rosters and say, well, the Colts should win by like 20. But then we get to the day and sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah. Um,
I'll call some out if you want. You got Bengals -6.5 at home to the Jets.
yeah, that's the one. That's the one. It's the Bengals because it's regardless who plays for the Jets at quarterback, they have to score enough points to keep up with the Bengals. And the Bengals offensive line is holding up enough so that Joe Flacco can release the football to the receivers on the outside. And the Jets aren't going to score enough points, I don't think. I think the Bengals win by 10 or more.
Okay. So that leaves us with just the wheel spin bet builder. So let's see what we're going to get this week. Oh, blue. It is Bills at the Panthers.
Okay, so I will take, and he's in my going off draft, I will take Rico Dowdle rushing yards.
Easiest pick. Do you want to go rushing or do you want to go total scrimmage? Because he does get involved in the receiving game. So it's like it's one of those, isn't it? Like you cover yourself by taking the slightly higher number.
Yeah, that's sensible. Let's do Rico Dowdle total scrimmage yards.
Love it. Mm. Now, the risky one here is Tetero McMillan, who's burned me a few times. They
Mm.
they got him involved really early last week, and then he didn't get another target, I don't think. So, I mean, I'm gonna take James Cook because that is the offense, really. It's Josh Allen and James Cook. So I'll take James Cook total scrimmage as well.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of like some unders. It's just which under to go.
Mm. Just as a proxy, I'm just gonna put the rushing over for James Cook and Dowdle.
Yep.
Ooh,
So we do Josh Allen rushing.
that's what I was just about to say. Josh Allen rushing is 31.5.
Yeah. Yeah, he normally makes it. I just don't know if I haven't seen if he's been doing it lately. And
I
who's the
think he makes it a lot. I think he does make it a lot.
who's the
So
Bill top receiver? So what, Keon Coleman or Shakir or
let's see
no,
who
but
else.
And one of them like under, because I don't think because the Panthers corner, their number one corner, JC Horn, is good.
Yep. I feel like, see, this is where it's boom or bust. Coleman's a difficult one because he might have no catches,
Yeah,
but it's like if he either doesn't or he goes off a bit, not like off. But
yeah.
his under is 43 and a half.
I was thinking it'd be 60 or 70.
That's a tough one.
Is he?
Tetero McMillan's number, say again.
Yeah. Is he the highest Bills receiver?
Khalil Shakir is the highest Bills receiver at 48 and a half.
No. See, I'd rather Shakir over than I'd rather like Coleman under or Shakir over. But
Do we bite the bullet? Because Coleman's on the outside. So I would
yeah,
assume he's going to be viewed as the number one outside receiver.
yeah,
So your man JC Horn should be following him.
yeah, yeah. Horn's an outside corner. Yeah,
All right, let's roll the dice. We're gonna go Keon Coleman under 43 and a half. Okay. I mean, maybe we stop there. Maybe we stop there because we're getting 14 to 1 on that. So
yeah,
that's James Cook total scrimmage yards, Rico Dowdle total scrimmage yards, Josh Allen over 31 and a half rushing yards, and Keon Coleman under 43 and a half receiving yards. 14 to 1 on Sky Bet.